It's 3 a.m. Your eyes open on their own. Nobody woke you. No sound outside, no alarm, no reason you can point to. You lie there in the dark, mind suddenly wide awake, and the first thought that comes is always the same. Something is wrong with you. But for most of human history, this exact moment, waking in total darkness in the middle of the night, wasn't a disorder at all. It was simply what a normal night looked like. So what actually happened during those ancient waking hours? And what if the thing you've been calling insomnia isn't a malfunction, but a memory your body refuses to let go of? Start with the historical record, because the evidence was hiding in plain sight for centuries. In 2001, historian Roger A. Kirch at Virginia Tech published research built from 16 years of digging through diaries, court depositions, prayer manuals, and medical texts. He found over 500 references, spanning centuries and cultures, all describing the same pattern using two specific terms: first sleep and second sleep. Before artificial light existed, people went to bed shortly after dark, slept roughly 4 hours, then woke up. They stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night. Then they slept a second 4-hour stretch until dawn. E. Kirch found this described so consistently that translators for generations had mistranslated the term entirely, because nobody believed people ever slept any other way than the single unbroken block modern humans consider normal. The strange part, nobody in these records described the waking hour with fear or frustration. A doctor's manual from the 1500s called it the best time for quiet study and reflection, when the mind was calm and the world was still. People used the hour to pray, to write, to visit neighbors, to lie still and think about their lives. The version of the night you consider broken, waking in darkness with your mind suddenly alert, was, for nearly all of human history, simply the second act of a normal night. People were taught to use it, not fear it. The science backs this up in a way that quietly confirms what the history books had been saying all along. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware at the National Institute of Mental Health ran an experiment that removed every trace of modern light from a group of volunteers' lives. For 1 month, they experienced 14 hours of darkness every single night, roughly what a human would have experienced before electric light existed. Within weeks, every single participant, without being told to, fell into the exact same rhythm Kirch had found buried in old diaries. 4 hours of sleep, a wakeful window of 1 to 3 hours, then 4 more hours of sleep. Ware measured their hormone levels during that waking window and found something remarkable. Prolactin, the same hormone released during meditation, was elevated far beyond normal daytime levels. The participants described the state as calm, reflective, almost meditative, unlike any ordinary waking experience they'd ever had. Your body didn't forget how to do this. The exact program was still sitting inside every person tested, fully intact, waiting only for enough darkness to switch back on. So if the rhythm never disappeared from the body, something else must have overwritten it, and the very word we use for controlling the night carries the answer buried inside it. In the 1600s, towns across Europe rang a bell each evening ordering residents to extinguish or cover their household fires. The French term for this was couvre-feu, meaning cover fire. English absorbed the word directly. We still use it today. We call it curfew. For most of history, darkness at night wasn't simply the absence of light. It was enforced by law, on purpose, because a night kept lit was considered dangerous, to property, to order, and to the mind itself. Now every notification, every glowing screen, every autoplay does the opposite of a curfew. It refuses to let the fire go out. In 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the electric light bulb, and within a single generation, the 14-hour darkness Ware's experiment recreated vanished from ordinary life. Harvard Medical School researcher Charles Cheesler has spent decades studying what replaced it. His research on circadian rhythms shows that modern humans are typically exposed to artificial light for 7 to 8 hours after sunset, and that this light, especially the blue wavelengths from screens, actively suppresses melatonin, the hormone that signals to your body that night has arrived. Cheesler's work shows your brain doesn't distinguish between a light bulb and the sun. When light hits your retina late at night, your body responds as though the sun never set. Melatonin release gets delayed. Sleep fragments. A circadian rhythm shaped over hundreds of thousands of years gets overridden by a piece of glass in your hand. So think about what's actually happening when you wake at 3 a.m. now, confused and alarmed. Your ancestor's brain is running the oldest program it has, the one Ware measured, the one Kirch found in 500 historical records, the one built for 14 hours of darkness and a quiet reflective window in the middle. But instead of silence and stars, there's a phone glowing on the nightstand, and instead of a program designed to calm you, you've been taught to treat this ancient, biologically normal moment as a symptom to fix. To be clear, this isn't about chronic insomnia or a real sleep disorder. If waking is a persistent struggle, that's worth talking to a doctor about. But for the ordinary, occasional 3 a.m. wake up most people write off as a personal failure. Your body isn't malfunctioning. It's executing a rhythm that operated successfully for every one of your ancestors, for the entire span of human history before 1879. The panic you feel isn't the body failing. It's the mind, confused, because nobody ever told it this hour used to be for something other than sleep, and modern life gave it nothing calm to do instead. Consider what it would mean to stop fighting that hour and start listening to it the way a doctor in the 1500s once advised. Not reaching for a phone. Not spiraling into anxious thoughts about the sleep you're supposedly losing. Simply lying still, in the dark, the way every ancestor before Edison once did, trusting that a second sleep was coming, because it always did. It's 3 a.m. again. Your eyes have opened on their own. But now you know this was never a malfunction. It's the oldest, quietest hour your species ever built, still running exactly as designed, in a world that forgot it was ever supposed to exist.